Battle control initialized.
Hello and welcome to Red Alert Gaming League Season 9 Minions Round 1. In the lower left corner, playing as Germany, we have Moods. Well, you can read the text too. And in the upper right corner, playing as Britain, we have KsK Nico. Let's take a look at the production tab. Both players about dead even. There are a total of 5 oil derricks on this map. I have to try very hard to call Moods by his real name and not by his colorful nickname that he has picked for this game. Nico going for the center of the map. Moods going for the sure thing, taking his natural derrick. And Moods sending out a lone rifleman to see if he thinks what's happening is happening, and yeah, that's what's happening. Moods coming out with a second engineer. That's very interesting. Going for the oil derricks on the other side of the map. Nico coming out with his first engineer after a lot of rifle soldiers. Looking for the snipe on Moods' Engie and not finding it over on the left side of the map. Both players with 1 oil derrick. Moods about to make it 2. And soon after to be 3. Very interesting that Moods is not camping that derrick. Just hanging out and watching out for an infantry flank. Both players going double ref. Moods now with 3 derricks to Nico's 2, about to be 2, and a sizable infantry force from Moods coming into the center of the field. Moods also producing a light tank, Nico answering in turn. Moods has to issue a stop order here, or else he's already lost all that infantry. Trading them away. Losing them to the line of sight of the oil derrick, that is no joke. And engineers crossing in the night. I wonder if they're going to get into a fist fight. That would be really funny. Nico sending out a light tank to deal with Moods' engineer that has just captured its 4th derrick. And that engineer is going to go down to tank fire. Nico returning with his engineer to recapture the oil derrick. Let's go to the economy tab. Moods ahead by about 500. 4 oil derricks to 1. Nico ahead on his production of his first MCV. And Nico with arguably better map control. Nico moving towards his natural expansion with a pillbox in his pocket and an ore refinery in the other pocket. I hope he's wearing suspenders. Mood's coming out with his first MCV, moving towards his natural expansion. And just a bit too close to the ore mine to deploy. Mood's still with an income advantage of about 2K, despite having one less harvester. And there is just a blob of troops from Moods defending his first expansion. Looks like Nico might run right into that. Nico undeploying his first MCV and moving out to the center of the field. Looks like he's going to go for an offensive base here, just to get more map control. Mood's coming out with his first expansion. Oh, that is very interesting. There's a hole there. Great eco slide from Moods. However, I think Nico smells blood in the water and is moving into the vulnerable position of Moods' ore trucks. Moods taking out Nico's oil derrick and about to lose an... Oh no. He's paying attention. Moods moving out his ore trucks just in the nick of time. A few idle harvesters for just a second, and they're back to work. Nico is going to lose his entire force here. Great concave position from Moods. Trading very well. Tanks leading the way and finding crushes. Is he going to repair that tank? Looks like he won't. Nico moving southward, trying to find a flank. Nico also leading the way in harvesters, but trailing in derricks. And this is going to be a big offensive. If Moods moves in with that force, tanks first, he is going to absolutely wipe that expansion off the face of the earth. And just a little slow, Nico is able to reroute his forces. Nico coming out with, Moods coming out with mechanics to repair the tanks in the field. That can be a great strategy, although they are fairly expensive. Moods has got to just sit tight for a second and let those mechanics do their thing. A helipad up from Nico. He's building a Black Hawk and an artillery unit. Moods out with his second expansion. Not investing a whole lot into it. I think Nico is just going to absolutely wipe that harvester once it moves within range of those rocket soldiers. Moods' force is well out of position. He has a sizable infantry blob, but all of the army is going north to the middle of nowhere. That helicopter providing great line of sight, but Nico just sitting idle on it. Moods moving in to the north with his artillery unit. And the helicopter moving likewise to provide line of sight, but there is a massive force. Moods' main force is moving in on the small contingent of forces that Nico has positioned, and they are absolutely just going to wipe them. Nico senses his opportunity, orders his troops southwards. At the same time, Moods is attacking Nico's first expansion, claiming a harvester in the process. Maybe two harvesters. That's not going to happen. Mood's moving his forces towards Nico's main base. Great opportunity here. Those helicopters are useful, but they are so expensive for the amount of firepower they provide. Really, the only advantage you have with them is the line of sight and also their ability to snipe troops, small contingents of troops. If he had moved one of those helicopters to the other expansion, his first expansion, he wouldn't have lost that harvester. Dual fronts at all times from Moods. I'd love to see that. Nico's forces are out of position, and he's losing a lot. He's going to lose that helipad, I bet. Moods pulling his forces back before destroying the helipad. Moods on 9 harvesters and 3 oil derricks with a massive cash advantage, 6,000 over Nico. But what is he doing with it? He's going radar tech, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting on that radar dome. Commanding his forces and going after the service depot of Nico. He's going to claim that. Now Nico as allies can transfer to light tanks, which suck, but he will be able to have at least some armor in the game. Moods coming out with the helipad. And that is a massive infantry blob from Nico. He's done a good job with infantry retention, keeping his forces alive, and they're all vetted. He must have gotten a spy into Nico's, or rather Moods' barracks at some point. And that is his first expansion, nearly completely obliterated, just barely hanging on to that ore refinery. Nico with a decisive disadvantage in eco, but an advantage in army position and also map control. But we've got a battle brewing down here. Is Moods going to lose an ore truck? Moves out his MCV, loses an ore truck, and also loses his anti-aircraft gun. Both helicopters from Moods going down to rocket fire. Those rockets extra powerful now. All of his units coming out of there, Nico's units coming out of the barracks are Vet 1. Nico going for this third expansion. But with nothing to back it up, I think he might get routed pretty quick. He's going to pop and drop right there. Also moving out his ore truck, that was a bit of a waste of an ore refinery. We are at minute 14, 30 seconds. Both players on radar tech. I wonder if anyone's going to go for tech 3. An ally is really the only advantage that you get with Tech 3 is Tanya and longbows, which are great for dealing with tanks, but since this is such an infantry-based game, I think both players are a bit hesitant to invest. Nico trying to reestablish his third expansion, MCV leading the way and deploying a pillbox. Providing his troops with line of sight, this is going to trade very well. But can he hold? A good concave shape from Moods. And his MCV is routed and his forces are destroyed. Unfortunate. He's going to lose that MCV. There it goes. Moods down to, Nico down to 2 MCVs. Nico calling it good game at 15 minutes 58 seconds, 855 to 786. Let's take a look at the eco graph. Both players fairly even until minute 10 when Mood starts to develop a decisive advantage thanks to his early capture of the oil derricks and also just better placement of ore refineries, in my opinion, more defensible positions. As far as military graphs go, both players dead even until minute 7, when Moods trades just a bit better during that battle and maintains his advantage for the rest of the game. Massive casualties on both sides. Red Alert Gaming League, Moods versus KsK Nico. Game 1 going to Moods.
Battle control terminated. Battle control initialized.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Red Alert Gaming League Season 9 Minions Round 1. Playing as Ukraine. I think I got that figured out now. We have Nico in red, and playing as Germany, we have Moods with his very colorful nickname playing in purple. Let's go to the production graph. Nico just a bit ahead in production, also coming out with a kennel. After his barracks, he's going to have great line of sight with that dog. Mood's going for his natural oil derrick, a total of 3 derricks on this map. That dog is going to provide him with great line of sight. Is definitely going to win this engagement here. Moods' forces in a conga line of death. Oh no, that's a good rally point. He might be able to hold. That line of sight advantage by the dog just proving a bit too much. Moods retreating his forces back to be healed. Moods with the first derrick capture. Also ahead in actions per minute slightly. Nico's dog going down and losing his line of sight advantage. Both players have gone double ref, with Nico being slightly behind due to building a kennel. But looks like he's going to hold that position at the center oil derrick. Moods coming out first with a war factory and producing a light tank. Nico moving to capture his natural derrick. And coming out with a flak truck. Moods is going to be about 20 seconds ahead in deploying his service depot. That is going to give him a massive advantage when it comes time to deploy his MCV. Timing it perfectly with that harvester. And Moods is at least a full, 18 seconds ahead with his MCV. Moods also now on 2 barracks. And his tank being chased off of Nico's natural oil derrick, just shy of destroying it. Moods has 2 derricks now to Nico's 1. And coming out with his MCV. MCV going south. His forces scouted the area beforehand. Nico out with his MCV. Moods now on 5 barracks to Nico's 3. Nico deploying his first expansion, going eco. Nico with a decisive cash advantage and income advantage. But will he be able to convert cash into bullets? Let's find out. Nico moving in on that oil derrick. Plenty of rocket troopers in there to dispatch it quickly. Moods down to 1 derrick. Nico about to redeploy his MCV. Drops a Tesla coil just in the nick of time. Rotating his forces. I don't think Moods is going to get far with this attack. Or maybe he will. He's going straight for the eco lines. Nico knows what's up, however. I don't know if they're going to be able to give chase. He's going to do a lot of disruption to Nico's eco lines. Moods out with his second war factory. Producing heavy tanks every 15 seconds. Excuse me, medium tanks. Allies. And an eco slide from Moods, moving a total of 4 harvesters down to his first expansion, leaving one of his ore patches unmined, and undeploying his main MCV, leaving it idle in the base for quite some time. Nico splitting his forces, giving chase to the forces of Moods and chasing them out of his eco lines, reversing course and taking out Moods' oil derrick that he captured from Nico. Nico moving out his MCV, going for his second expansion. Nico with control of the center of the map, now in his second expansion. But Moods is finding a great flanking vector and is going to drive right into the heart of Nico's eco lines at his main base. Maybe even be able to take out that service depot that he scouted before with his expeditionary force. Moods coming out with his second expansion. Nico losing one harvester. And out with his second MCV. Moods with not a lot of options here decides to fight it out with the troops in Nico's base. Trading well despite the line of sight disadvantage. Smartly taking out that power to disable the Tesla coils. Trading very well despite the line of sight disadvantage. Nico with a force up north taking out Moods' second expansion. Routing his MCV. And Moods doing massive damage to Nico's main base. Nico not minding losing that MCV. He has got two more. But still losing build radius around his service depot. That service depot is down. Likewise, Nico able to take out the MCV. No, just... Oh, he's got it. Moods down to one MCV. Nico at a severe power disadvantage. Power deficit, rather. Those Tesla coils absolutely useless at this point. He has no power plants left. That is a big setback. Very quickly losing his first expansion and his main base. He's going to try to... Nico calling it good game at 10 minutes and 27 seconds. 492 to 271. Let's check out the economy graph. Moods with a advantage early on in the game thanks to his... well, I don't know. He must be microing his harvesters in order to get that advantage. I think he did capture that oil derrick first. Maintaining an advantage, converting cash into bullets, and maintaining a decisive advantage militarily throughout the rest of the game. That is both games going to Moods. Red Alert Gaming League Minions Round 1.
Battle control terminated.